Here we are once again, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Living Hope Today study. So happy that you are here today. God bless you for wanting to know more about God's Word and to grow in faith as we study the truth. Well, we find ourselves in Deuteronomy chapter 9 today, and there's a theme here. It's I entitled this The Devouring Fire, and you'll see why in a minute. And the question really underneath this is, does God really love us unconditionally? Like, doesn't matter how we live, doesn't matter if we change anything about our lives, we just utter the words, I believe in Jesus, and we have signed our ticket to heaven, we've bought our fire insurance, we're clear. Is that really how salvation works? I want you to look at this chapter with me and see how you answer that question when we get to the end. It's very, very instructive for us. When we get to chapter 9, we hear this. Hear, O Israel, you are now about to cross the Jordan to go in and dispossess nations greater and stronger than you, with large cities that have walls up to the sky. The people are strong and tall. Anakites, you know about them and have heard it said, who can stand up against the Anakites? I mean, they're being told here, look, this is impossible, but you're about to go do it. Remember, this group's parents said, no, we can't do it. They wandered in the desert for 40 years and died. Okay, but God's telling this younger group now, you're going, and you're going to do it. Doesn't matter how big they are, or how great their nations are, or how strong they might look, or how large their cities are. You are going. Now, look what he says. But be assured today that the Lord your God is the one who goes across ahead of you like a what? Like a devouring fire. There it is. God describes himself as a devouring fire. Think about that. He will destroy them. Wow, that's really strong. You know, people say the God of the Old Testament is so vengeful and so mean. He will subdue them before you. Wow. And you will drive them out and annihilate them quickly. Wow. What kind of God is this? He's annihilating people as the Lord has promised you. He's annihilating them to fulfill a promise that he made. What kind of God is this? Why would he do that? Well, maybe this is a clue. After the Lord your God has driven them out before you, do not say to yourself, the Lord has brought me here to take possession of this land because of my righteousness. Okay, so first, we don't need any boasting in the group, okay? This isn't happening because you guys are living so holy and right. No, it's not about you. That's a message hard for many of us to hear. But look what it says. No, it is on account of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. Okay, so why is God taking vengeance on these nations and allowing his people to move in? Because they are absolutely evil, corrupt, wicked, serving pagan gods, which we know are demons, worshiping evil. They are going to be eliminated by God as an act of judgment. This isn't a vengeful God. This is a holy God. This is a God that demands that we live in a way that honors him. And there are serious consequences if we refuse. And we're all accountable to him. It is not because of your righteousness. Oh, look at this. God's going to repeat it to them just to make sure they get it. It's not because of your righteousness or your integrity that you are going in to take possession of their land. Okay, so just get that straight. It's not about you. You didn't live well enough to deserve this, okay? It's not your integrity that's driving this. What is it? But on account of the wickedness of these nations. Okay, so God repeats himself. All right, when you read it once, it's authoritative. When you read it twice, well, pay attention because God's emphasizing something here. It's because of the wickedness of these nations. The Lord your God will drive them out before you to accomplish what he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Notice The covenant is mentioned here in verse 5. I have promised this to generations long gone, but I'm going to keep my promise. And we're driving these wicked nations out of the promised land. Understand then that it is not because of your righteousness. Well, I think, isn't that the third time he said that in this passage? It's not because of your righteousness that the Lord your God has given you this good land to possess. For you are a stiff-necked people. What does that mean? You hear, but you don't listen. You say you're going to obey, but you don't. You think your way is right and you cannot be turned from the wrong direction. You just keep going. You're stiff-necked. Look at this. Remember this and never forget how you provoked the Lord your God to anger in the desert. From the day you left Egypt until you arrived here, you have been rebellious against the Lord. Okay, 3 times. It's not because of your righteousness that you're going to have the promised land. Now we're getting directly involved with you're absolutely rebellious. You have no reason to think that you are entering this land because of the qualities that you possess. At Horeb, remember that's another name for Sinai, you aroused the Lord's wrath so that he was angry enough to destroy you. Now Moses speaks, when I went up on the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord made with you, I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread. I drank no water. We're talking about history here. The Lord gave me 2 stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God. On them were all the commandments the Lord proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. At the end of 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. This is the 10 commandments, the law God wants. Then the Lord told me, go down from here at once. Because your people whom you brought out of Egypt have become corrupt. You see that? They have turned away quickly from what I commanded them and have made a cast idol for themselves. Notice the source of the wickedness. They have turned to a false god. They are worshiping an idol. The Lord said to me, I have seen this people, and they are a stiff-necked people indeed. There it is. Sometimes, you can really get the intention of a text by just looking at what's repeated. You're not coming in because of your righteousness. You're a stiff-necked people. We're watching this theme develop over and over in chapter 9. Let me alone. Here's that God question we started with. Does he love us unconditionally? Hasn't he already said he loves these people? He's going to keep his promises to these people, to this nation. Listen to this. Let me alone so that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. Well, wait a minute. God, aren't you supposed to love and be that big teddy bear in the sky that puts up with whatever we dish out? I guess not. Look at verse 14. God is ready, willing, and able to wipe out the Israelite people. He's not going to wipe out his promise. He says here in 14, and I will make you into a nation stronger and more numerous than they. Okay, so we can start over, Moses. We'll start with you, and we'll continue to hold our covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but we're going to get rid of these people. Well, what does Moses do? I'm sure somewhere deep inside Moses, he's saying, I wouldn't really mind that. These people are really a pain. But look what he says. He says, so I turned and I went down from the mountain while it was ablaze with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my hands. When I looked, I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God. You had made for yourselves an idol. Didn't God already tell us he's a jealous God? You guys, you're worshiping this piece of metal. You made yourself an idol cast in the shape of a calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way the Lord had commanded you. Notice, you're following into the pagan practices, worshiping rocks and wood. So I took the 2 tablets and I threw them out of my hands, breaking them to pieces before your eyes. Moses destroys the tablets God gave him because of his anger against the sin of his people. Then once again, I fell prostrate before the Lord. Look at this. For 40 days and 40 nights, that's a long time, I ate no bread and drank no water because of all the sin you had committed, doing what was evil in the Lord's sight, and so provoking him to anger. So once again, this is the second 40-day fast that Moses endures. Why does he do it? I feared the anger and wrath of the Lord. Wow, this seems like we're moving away from this all unconditional, all loving teddy bear approach that many people sell Jesus with these days. No, God is really a loving God. He's willing to save us from his wrath. But it doesn't mean his wrath isn't real, and it doesn't mean the consequence of disobedience to him isn't real. He's ready to destroy his own people. Moses is terrified of his wrath, for he was angry enough with you to destroy you. But again, the Lord listened to me. What does Moses do? He intercedes. He intercedes, and the Lord was angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. Remember, because Aaron was sort of leading the party in the idol worship. But at that time, I prayed for Aaron too. What does Moses do? The only thing he can do, he goes to God and asks God for favor. I took the sinful thing of yours, the calf you made, and burned it in the fire. Then I crushed it and ground it to powder. In other words, there's nothing left. We are not going to go this way. As fine as dust, and I threw the dust into the stream that flowed down from the mountain. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, at Massa, and at Kibroth Hatava. We could go through each of those infractions, but you get the idea. You can study again for yourself if you wish. 23, and when the Lord sent you out from Kadesh Barnea and said, go up and take possession of the land I have given you, but you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You did not trust him. You did not obey him. Oh, here comes a repeatable theme. You have been rebellious against the Lord ever since I have known you. You guys just refuse to get it that God is real, that you can trust him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, that you can obey him out of love, that he's going to bless those who do what he wants. You guys just don't get it. You still think your way is the right way. Your idea is the best idea, that you know more than God. Wow. Well, Moses certainly understands the character and integrity of the people that God has called him to serve. They're a rebellious people. I lay prostrate before the Lord those 40 days and 40 nights because the Lord had said he would destroy you. So Moses is actively interceding for God to change his mind when it comes to destroying the people. I prayed to the Lord. I said, "O sovereign Lord, do not destroy your people." Okay, we would think that's enough, but look how he describes this. Your own inheritance that you redeemed by your great power and brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Okay, I'm praying for these people, God. First, remember, God, you delivered them from Egypt. Now, remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember the promise you made to them. Overlook the stubbornness of this people, their wickedness and their sin. Moses calls God to do what? He calls him to remember. Otherwise, here's some more ammo that Moses prays about, just to say to God, look, God, this is what your reputation's going to be if you move forward with destroying the nation of Israel at this time. Otherwise, the country from which you brought us will say, because the Lord was not able to take them into the land he had promised them, and because he hated them, he brought them out to put them to death in the desert. Oh, wow. So Moses is basically saying, God, the other nations that you've already proven yourself to be so magnificent and powerful over, they're going to change their mind if you destroy us all or leave just me to repopulate your people. God, please have mercy. And the chapter ends here, but they are your people. God, remember, they are your inheritance that you brought out by your great power and your outstretched arm. God, these people belong to you. So, is God unconditional in his love for us? I'd say no. In fact, to think that we can live any way we want and still honor God with our lives is a lie right from hell. That's not true. We don't get saved because we live right, but we live right because he saved us. He's filled us with his Spirit. We obey out of love. And because of that, God blesses. But if we, like these people we see in Deuteronomy 9, if we decide we're going to reject God at every turn and we're not going to follow him because we know more than God, we're going to experience the wrath of God. There's no question about it. Now, if we've already come to salvation, that wrath will be discipline. But if we haven't genuinely given our lives to Christ, that wrath will be eternal. Something to think about. We don't want to sell Jesus and say, doesn't matter how you live, just say these words, everything's okay. No, your conversion is going to be demonstrated by the new life that you live. That's how we know we've really been touched by his Spirit, when we don't want to do those evil things anymore because our life is now all about honoring him. God bless you, church. Serve him well today.
Who is it who for sinners shed his blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood?